we're gonna move on to a different movie review. This one, I believe we're gonna probably get a bit more of a positive review for because John went to see it, and Nosferatu is the latest from probably one of the best directors working in Hollywood today, Robert Eggers. So before I go any further, I have to bring in probably one of Robert Eggers' biggest fans. So now, that being said, John, you did go into the movie and gave it a fair shot. You weren't like, oh my God, I'm going to love it no matter what it is.
Right.
And with that said, did you enjoy the movie? Did you feel like this was the best effort from Robert Eggers so far? Or did you feel like this was a bit of, underwhelming compared to some of his other movies?
I think it is absolutely excellent. I thought it was a tremendous feat in filmmaking. I thought like every aspect, almost pretty much every aspect was near perfect. However, I do think it's his weakest film. However, considering the high bar that his filmography offers, that's not saying much because The Witch was excellent, Lighthouse was excellent, Northman was excellent. Nosferatu, the first Eggers film that does not have "the" in the title, was another excellent film. Because pretty much everything in regards to this movie is tremendous. I get why some people don't like it because there have been some mixed reviews in regards to like, oh, it wasn't the best. I can see that more so than some of his other films, but I still thought that this was a fantastic film, and it's really great to see. Like, I went to see this, and my entire theater was pretty much packed. Like, it was packed to the brim. It was hard for me to find a seat. So that's really nice to see. Like, good horror, Robert Eggers, like word of mouth because Northman was a bomb, unfortunately. So it was nice to see him getting some love, him getting some much needed positive reviews, and getting a fair bit of money, not a ton of money, but enough. But yeah, I'll get into specifics. I'll try my best not to spoil it because usually I spoil it, but because it hasn't been out for very long, like about 2 days, I'll try my best not to, talk, even though it's based on a book that's over 100 years old, and it's based on a adaptation of said book that's also over 100 years old. So, it's, and well, as a remake that's over almost 50 years old. So, 45, I think it's actually 45 this year, actually, the Werner Herzog film. So, this is, it follows the story of Dracula, but with the flair of Nosferatu. Now, if you have not seen Nosferatu Symphony of the Night, that came out in 1922, it was one of the first real horror films. It was, I think Cabinet of Dr. Caligari might have beaten it. I forget which one, but I'm pretty sure Nosferatu was like the first like real one. But it was, it was an adaptation of Dracula that was not allowed to be, so they like changed names, hence why the names are different in this version, although Werner Herzog went back to the original names for his film. So it's an adaptation, but it still does its own thing. It doesn't it is its own, like you can see like the bits and pieces that are, referencing the original novel. Like, Thomas Hutter was Jonathan Harker, Ellen Hutter was Mina Harker, Count Orlok is Dracula, and you have all the characters like that. And then you have, the period is kind of different. It's not in London, it's in Germany, and it's not in the late 18. I forget when. I don't know if the original novel was when the setting was during when the book came out, which was 1897. I don't know if it was like right before that, but it takes place in 1838. It's in Germany rather than London, but it's still, he goes to Transylvania. But yeah, so there's like a little bit of background. I'm sorry, I'm just a horror nerd, so I gotta get that out there. But I think this is a tremendous film. The acting was fantastic. Nicholas Hoult, our future Lex Luthor, is tremendous. I mean, he is one of the most, I would say he's officially an underrated talent, I would say. Um, because I feel like he doesn't get enough notoriety. Like people like kind of know his name, but I feel like he should have been like an A-lister by this point. He should have been, but I feel like he's like just went from C to B lister. Like I feel like he deserves, and he does like a good, like it's definitely like he's definitely like, you know, he showcases the idea of being scared and stuck in this predicament and not really knowing what to do. Um, Lily Rose Depp, a lot of people were worried about her, especially when they heard that Anya Taylor-Joy was supposed to play Ellen Hutter, because I think she had to leave due to scheduling conflicts. It might have been with Dune Part Two. It might have been with something else. I don't remember. But I think Nosferatu got delayed, so the scheduling conflicts didn't happen. But they went ahead with Lily Rose Depp anyway. But I thought she was really good in this. Like I don't think she's a bad actor. I know people are gonna scream and cry about nepotism, but I do think she's a very good actor. I know like she's been in garbage before, like Yoga Hosers and shit like that, but I think this proves that she is a good actress. I don't know if she's like one of the greatest of all time, but with what they did here, like it was sort of like that even balance of like submissive and scared to like by the end of the film kind of owning what she has become and like trying, like there's like like this fucking tearing herself apart because she's under the guise of like Count Orlok, but she also tremendously loves her husband of, you know, Thomas Hutter. So there is that push and pull. I think her mannerisms are a little bit over exaggerated at some points, but I still thought she did a very good. I thought she did a very, very good job. Um, Aaron Taylor Johnson, our boy Craven, has redeemed himself from Craven, so that's good. He was great in this, especially after a certain point in the film, towards the end. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil it, but shows how good of an actor he is. I know we kind of forget that, but I was just watching. There's a certain scene I was like, whoa. And I was like, I can tell he put his all into this, and I could tell he put like a personal like touch on it. To the people that have seen the film, you might know what I'm talking about, but it was like, holy shit, this guy's good. Like I know we know he's good, but it's like he's been in like mostly, I mean, the last fucking movie he did a couple weeks ago was the shitty Sonyverse movie. So it's like it's so interesting to see him go from that to like prestigious Robert Eggers production. So it's interesting. And that was wow, that was that like, and I'm not saying like the rest of the movie he was bad or anything, but it was like a very different performance, but he was still really good. Emma Corrin, they play his wife, who is the Lucy character. I think Anna is her name here. She's very good, although she's not in the movie that much, comparatively, but there is a certain point in the film where, you know, I feel like where she becomes more noteworthy, and I thought that was really good. I thought she did a really good job there. Willem Dafoe as the Van Helsing character, I forget, he's Professor something. He's very good, but you know, that's, you could just say that about every, I mean, look at that. That's just Willem Dafoe in a nutshell. Willem Dafoe is just such, he's one of the greatest actors who has ever lived. I would go as far as to say that he, and the thing is, but the unfortunate part, he doesn't get like Denzel Washington levels of like, yeah, nobody touch him. He's Denzel Washington. He's Willem Dafoe. He's like, he was Green Goblin, but it's like everything he's done, he has understood the assignment, as many of the kids say, and he just owns it. He's not in it as much, but like I feel like that works because it's like we're aching to like see more of him. And I like how his characterization here is very different from the Werner Herzog version, because that version, that Van Helsing, they go completely like 180 from like the book, where he's like, I think he's like a man of God and he's a non-believer in vampires. But here they make him like almost like an occult kind of nutcase a little bit. And I really like, I mean, you could tell from this image, but like they kind of make him more into the occult. He's still a prestigious professor, but he's like kind of lost his mind, and he's like got so into what he was studying that he just kind of went crazy. But you could like there's that even balance. Like this was like the craziest he went. But I think he doesn't go like as crazy. So I think that's definitely something. And Ralph Ineson plays the doc. I believe he's the Dr. Seward character, and I don't know who played Knock, the Renfield character. Both of them were excellent. Ralph Ineson has come back to yes, I mean he's amazing in everything. Of course, I haven't seen Boondock but I know I've seen bits and pieces, and he's very good. Ralph Ineson, who was in The Witch, he was the father in The Witch, has come back to Robert Eggers production, and he plays the Dr. Seward character. It's very good. He's more, great picks, but he's more conservative with his performance because the father in The Witch was so like, I don't want to say over the top, but he was like, I am man of God, like, so he was kind of like that. But here he was much more subdued. I would say subdued is a better word. And I really liked that. Now I've been building this up because Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok is holy fucking shit. This is not only his greatest performance, but one of the best horror performances I've seen in a long, long time. This was Oscar level. I guarantee it is Oscar levels of good. Oscar levels of great. He won't get nominated because it's a horror movie and they don't like horror movies, but in a perfect world, this would be nominated and he would win. And they take the Jonathan Demme approach with Silence of the Lambs, like Hannibal Lecter, where he's barely in the movie. And but like the fucking, like, no, I don't think he should be. Just the level of outreach and the level of control and puppet mastery he has on the people, the main characters in this movie, but on this town in Germany, the Plague of Rats, which was more of a subplot in the previous films, the previous iterations. It was not in the novel, but I loved what they did. They kind of added that into a very small aspect of the original Nosferatu, and then Werner Herzog made it bigger. This one, they used the Plague of Rats almost, I don't want to say it as a substitution for Count Orlok, but like showcasing his power. And I loved that. I loved that they went with that. And of course, like the technical aspects, brilliant. The cinematography is just amazing. I mean, Jaron Blaschke, I think his name is, he's worked on every Robert Eggers project, I believe. And he's brilliant again. Once again, brilliant. And the editing was fantastic. The atmosphere, it took a while, but after a certain point, I'm like, wow, this is really fucking good. And I like how they included aspects that weren't in the previous two Nosferatu adaptations films, but they did bring it back. Like, there was, like, in the original novel, they have the band of gypsies. Well, I know they're called Romani, but here they're called gypsies because it was, way back when. There was the fight with the gypsies towards the end of the novel. Even though they don't play the same role here, they bring that aspect in. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
Dan coming in like the Oscar when you start playing the fucking orchestra for the Oscar speech that goes on too long. I get it. I'll wrap this up as fast as I can. But it just. But the thing is, I'm not being spoilery, so that's why I'm not getting into it. But like, it just such a wonderful film. I would say the only bad thing about this film is that the pacing is not good. That really got to me at points, and kind of lowered it. That's why I think it's the weakest. It's like usually Robert Eggers is a master of his craft, and despite a slow pace, you're still like entranced with what's going on. There were a lot of points, mainly the first act and points of the second act, where I'm like, all right, we get it. Can you kind of move on type of thing? But outside of that, this was an amazing feat. It is another brilliant Robert Eggers film. I cannot wait to see what he has next, whether it's The Night, whether it's his Western, whether it's, his another gothic horror film, whatever he plans to do. The next 5 projects that he has in mind, the Labyrinth reboot apparently wasn't. I think he wants to do a Rasputin miniseries.
Oh, okay.
That'd be sick.
Because there have been rumors that he's going to do a Labyrinth reboot next, like the David Bowie film.
Yeah.
I didn't see that on
More bulges for Dan.
I didn't see that on the the Goblin King played by Timothée Chalamet. So I didn't see that on the upcoming. So I don't know if that's a thing or not. Fuck off, man. All right, if you can go fucking rage on Batman, I think I could go long. This is the most I'm gonna talk on this fucking stream, by the way. But yeah, please. I know there was one person that said I'm gonna see this on Peacock. Please don't just fucking settle for Peacock. This deserves to be seen on a big screen. I know money is tight. You can just don't pay for the snacks. It's fine. Don't pay for snacks. Just fork over the $10 to $15. I swear to you, it's worth it.
Movie theaters
Please,
have discount days.
don't fucking give money to Disney. Give money to fucking movies like this. This was a passion project for Robert Eggers for years. Please give money to like more intriguing and well-made movies like this instead of Disney's slop. Please, we need more movies like this being made, because if this shit doesn't make money like The Northman didn't, then we're gonna get less amazing Robert Eggers movies, and we're gonna get more Tim Miller movies. Okay,
well,
so please.
And like I said in the chat, John, if you want to see a good Nicole Kidman film, go see The Northman.
Go watch The Northman. But yes, please go see Nosferatu. I tried my best to keep it spoiler free, just so you guys. I know it says spoiler review down below. Guys, please go see this movie. I go see Sonic 3. Go see this. Just don't see Baby Girl. Don't fucking see Lion King.
No.
See good movies. Now, I don't know how Complete Unknown is. I didn't watch it. Liz took care of that. But just go see that. Like, go see that too. I beg of you, please. I don't care how, because people have been like complaining about the mustache. Like, fuck, whatever. I don't give a shit. Please go see this movie. I'm begging you on my hands and knees. I'm not actually on my hands and knees, but please go see. I know it's slow, but please, I'm begging. Please go see this movie. Goddamn, guys, come on.
We got Retro Edits, Jim joining us, and Tony Reyes, of course, in the chat now as well. Wow, Retro, you're in your exam room and you saw the Batman 2. Yes, we're gonna talk about the Batman 2 in a second, Retro, but focus on your exam. Okay, if you need us to slide you some answers, though, please do type in the question in the chat.
Oh yeah,
we'll be happy to help. Not that we encourage that kind of behavior, but
no, we do.
You happen to, okay, well, I guess
there's nothing wrong with that. Get a leg up there, you can. It's okay.
Well, look, Nosferatu is getting great reviews from the critics. The people who went to see it love it, certainly a lot more than the people that went to see Baby Girl. So it's doing decently well at the box office for what it is. I know earlier we were talking about it. Let's see, where is it? That's no, that's the wrong article. Nosferatu, I think, made like $8 million, something like that.
Yeah, around there, like
7.6. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I mean, like it's a good start, and for a movie like this, I mean, that's a great number, and hopefully with good word of mouth, which obviously, the Rotten Tomatoes scores show that a lot of people who saw it really liked it. So hopefully over time that score will climb, and then more people will check it out. And then if you don't get to see it in the movie theater, I'm sure it will eventually end up on streaming somewhere. But like John said, if you can, go see it in the movie theater near you. Robert Eggers is certainly one of the best names in the business right now, and whenever we make something, it's so singularly unique and different, and his auteurship shows through like very few directors working today. So yeah, we hope that you enjoyed the review. Let us know in the comments if you are more likely to see the movie. because of John's enthusiasm for it, or you know, if you already saw it, then let us know what you thought about it in the comments. And then while you're at it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell, because we are here each and every week talking about the movies